Everybody. It's cotton picking time here in 2020 in South Texas anyway. So here's Jamie launching. He and I got out launched from the same spot for an evening flight. Didn't go too well for him. Our plan was to meet up with James. He's launching from his house 15, 20 miles away. I basically took off, headed south, was headed towards meeting James here. But Jamie ended up going back and landing. Turns out he had his Cena on the back, attached to the back of his helmet. I guess it come loose and got into the prop. He's got a wooden prop, did a little bit of minor, let's say, cosmetic damage to the prop, so he could still fly, but his Cena was not functioning. So I landed and checked it out. Maybe I was going to see if we needed to run to my house and get a spare prop, but there's Jamie going off for his second flight. I think he had a good flight, but it was without music. So that's almost an emergency if you don't have music playing when you're flying. So anyway, he got off, and on the second one, I pulled the wing up in the air and got off for another flight. Here's our launch site. Construction's going on. We used to have a lot of grass or vegetation anyway out in this area, but it's being developed. It's nice and clear for us right now, but it's kind of gets your wing dirty. But anyway, we got away and met up with James in one of I call it the box field or the rectangular field. If you can kind of spot James off to the left there, off to my left, through the trees, he's heading up to meet us. So we're going to head south down to the cotton fields down by the Brazos River, south of where I launched from. Got a little bit of a late start, so James had to depart from us after a little bit of following him and flying in the area. I decided it was time to dip my toes. I had a fresh segment of yellow duct tape on my foot dragon shoe. Saw the Brazos River wasn't up too much, and I could get down, so couldn't resist doing another little bit of foot drag. Early on in that part, I couldn't tell for sure that it was super shallow water, an inch or two. But once I got up a little bit further, got a little closer, decided, it's time to go for it. This is my idea of relatively safe water foot dragging. If I go down, I'm just going to be a muddy mess and probably have a very long walk out. Quick flyby of some of the cotton that they've already gathered up and baled on the side. And then sun's going down. Here we are on the way back out. If you look up above, kind of the center of the screen, you'll see a plane. This is near Covey Trails Airport. This is a guy that was doing, I guess, some practice touch and goes, takeoffs and landings. It's kind of neat. Now that I've got an aviation radio, I can announce my position and kind of have a little conversation with him. And so, I think it was nice. He made sure he had us in sight, and we kind of communicated over the radio. And it's just a fun, adds a little bit of safety to the thing, and I'm glad I've done it. And here's Jamie, sun setting, and we're cruising back, headed back to our launch site, or the LZ as we call it. And I'll speed this video up just a little bit. It's just kind of a long segment of just cruising right at sunset across an open field. This is really just one of it's why it never gets old. It's why I love paramotoring, flying low like this, and just especially when the air is nice and calm and sun setting, or if sunrise can be that way too. Just so much fun. So it was a really great evening. Going to bring it in for a landing here. Kind of interesting, the wind switched up basically 180 degrees on us, or close to it, from when we took off. It was fairly low wind, but it was a little bit bumpy coming in at the end. Really nice and smooth for most of the flight, but anyway, it was a good one, and safe landing. Hope you guys enjoyed coming along for the ride.